All right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today at Savvy. I apologize. I completely messed up with my time zone. And I apologize for Vince. Vince has been in holding on like a true champion in UK. I thanks everybody who's still been holding on and asking, but we're here. We're here. First of all, thank you for being today at the RUM Lab and at our channel in Savvy. To your right, you're gonna see the chat box, and I see a lot of people already asking questions. It's like, hey, Faye, when are you gonna start? I apologize. Here I am. If you have any questions, make sure to put them in the very bottom. We do ask anybody who can share the event. Today's agenda is going to be 30-40 minutes talking about our main presentation, 1 or 2 minutes our contact information, and around 15-20 minutes going through our Q&A. Today's topic is making rum in the UK at the Portsmouth Distillery Company. And our guest is Vince, who is the head distiller. And I want to bring Vince really nice and big. Hi, Vince. How are you doing?
Hi, yeah, I'm great. I was just drifting off with the opening music there back in Puerto Rico. Fantastic.
It is actually, when we were starting the live stream, we were looking for like a nice intro, right? And then this is a good way to start.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited that you join us today. Actually, for everybody who received the RUM Lab newsletter, you will see that Vince was our guest interview today. And if not, you can go to rumlab.com and see his entire full interview. There's a green button that shares view our interviews, and you can see Vince full interview. Well, let's talk about rum in the UK. And this is very interesting, right? I think rum became famous thanks to British, so it caught my attention, right? We always talk about rum being made in the Caribbean or being made around the equator. Then you have England, right? That's and Portsmouth in particular, that is doing rum further away from the equator. But of course, you can source sugarcane molasses anywhere around the world. But the distillery is also located in a very interesting place. And we prepare some videos. Actually, Vince prepares some videos which are great. And we also have a couple great pictures and images that Vince will go through. Vince, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm ready to go. What do you want to know?
I think we should start with the first thing and you can tell us a little bit about the idea. Is from the fort outside. So if it's okay, I'm going to put that video that shows the outside area.
Yeah. Right. So this is Fort Cumberland, 18th century bastion fort, one of the best examples in Europe, actually. So it's a pentagon situated in Eastney Point, which is the southeastern tip of what's called Portsea Island, which is where Portsmouth is, south coast, right in the middle of the UK. Why are we here? Well, we're here really because when we chose to set up the distillery, we had a couple of red lines. The first and most prominent red line was we were not going to set up a distillery in a lockup somewhere in an industrial estate. There's no soul in that. No disregard to anybody that has a distillery in an industrial estate, but that's not what we wanted to do. Portsmouth is blessed with a plethora of old buildings, historic buildings. Nothing quite this grandiose and this large. The distillery is you can see the sort of V to the right in the center there of the picture. We're just behind. You can see some tables. That's where we're located. You'll see some better pictures of it all shortly. So we went to the council and said, look, have you got any historic buildings that we can set up a distillery in? And the guy said, actually, just so happens we've been speaking to Historic England, who steward the site here, and they're looking to get some companies into Fort Cumberland. So we said, well,
oh, wow.
So we went down, had a look, and we looked at several casemates, these vaulted ceiling rooms, which are all covered in earth, are called casemates. And we had a look at a bunch, and we found the two that were absolutely perfect to start the distillery. So this was back in October 2017. So myself and Giles, my business partner, we said, yes, please, we'll have it. Moved in January 18, and then did all of the work ourselves. So we renovated it, got it ready, put it all together for the still, ordered the still, installed the still, and started distilling in November 2018. And the rest, as they say, is history. And wow, what a history that's been with COVID.
I'm very curious. For example, I'm thinking about like electricity.
Yeah.
How do you get electricity on this massive walls that there's no way you can drill through them? And I see behind you have like a metal concept, right? Yep.
Yeah. So we might be in an 18th century bastion fort, but we've got all the mod cons. Here we are on, the internet. I'm talking to a guy on the other side of America, for goodness sake. So, the actual sort of infrastructure, if you like, is pretty sound. We've got obviously broadband, electricity. We've got big industrial 440 volt 3-phase electricity into the still room over the other side, which is what we need for the kit, of course. That's all comes in under the ground. They put all of this electricity in way back when. They didn't put it in for us. So all of this is that I remember Giles and I almost on a daily basis would use the word serendipity, because something would come up and we're like, wow, why is that like that? Well, it should be, and that's basically how we went through. We are now at the stage where we have outgrown the current stage. We need another still. So with that, we need more power. This place doesn't have enough power, so they're going to upgrade the power for us. But hopefully that will happen towards the end of this year, so we can get another still. Because the reason for that is we run the still's called Sophie. We run Sophie pretty much every day for the production of rum, because you'll all know, obviously being rum enthusiasts, that rum is double distilled, and of course you've got to go through your wash stage to get to well, not always double distilled, but if you use a pot, obviously. So you got to get your wash before you then go on and do your spirit, and of course that takes 2 runs. And when there's only a very few of you, like there are here, it's quite time intensive. So to get another still will free up some time. We can do more. We can increase our volume, because being the UK, of course, we also make gin, but don't tell anybody. We have to, because gin keeps the lights on whilst we put the good stuff down to age. And that's why we make it really predominantly. Don't get me wrong, I'm not flippant about our gin. We make it very well. We put a lot of effort into it, and I've put a lot of effort into the gins that we've made, getting them absolutely right. Award-winning, our gins, they're very good stuff, as is our rum. So we're doing something right, which is good news. But I guess you all really want to know, how are we making rum in the UK, which is the topic of this evening's talk. Well, it's a good question, because rum is really starting to gain some traction in the UK at the moment.
Are you noticing? You're clearly noticing it? Yeah.
It's perhaps not necessarily in the way we would like it. There's a lot of spice rum out there. There's a lot of flavored rum. There's a lot of this sort of stuff. I think really because the UK public, not to be disingenuous to those wonderful people, they're quite ignorant where rum is concerned. If it's white rum, it's Bacardi. If it's spice rum, it's Captain Morgan's. All rum is white and dark, isn't it? And why aren't we at the Portsmouth Distillery producing dark rum? Where's your dark rum? All these normal questions, and it's only because of ignorance, as I said. I don't mean that disingenuously. So we spend a lot of time trying to educate people that all rum starts off white. It only becomes coloured when it sits and ages, unless you force colour it or you falsely colour it, all the rest of it. So what are we now? 8 months away? Maybe not quite 8 months, 10 months away from the launch of our first aged rum. So I have been drinking rum for pretty much all of my life. I was very lucky to have parents that travelled around. I was in the Navy. They were in Trinidad for a while. That's when I really, those of you may have read the interview, that's when I really got into it as a kid, really. But not just the drink, the whole culture, everything about rum really sets me alight. I love the stuff. I love the whole thing, the concept. There are certain rums that I'm not massively keen on, as in the way that they're made, and there are certain rums that I really love. And I've always been a lover of the more syrup style rums. So they're slightly lighter, slightly sweeter. Those sort of, I think personally there's a lot more going on. Although, strangely, my favorite go-to rum in the entire world is a molasses-based rum. But that, I didn't want to make a molasses-based rum in the UK. And the reason for that was twofold. First and foremost, everybody does it.
Yeah.
Because the only way you can make rum in the UK is to use molasses, because we don't have a tropical climate. We can't grow cane. The closest place is Madeira. I looked into getting some juice from Madeira. Forget about it. It's just ridiculously expensive. I'm also a great lover of agricole, but of course, I don't really want to make an agricole because people in the UK really don't understand agricole, the flavor profile, etc. And again, the good old French, you can't call it agricole anyway, blah, 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 blah. So I hit upon the middle ground, and we researched, we looked really hard to find the right product to be able to make a syrup-based rum in the UK. So what we do is we import dehydrated sugarcane juice. Some people would try and say it's sugar. It isn't. It's not. They don't make it in the same way. It's literally
sugarcane honey, basically.
Exactly that. So we take the dehydrated, we rehydrate it, put it in our big brew kettle, which you'll see shortly when we show that video clip, and we boil it and we make a syrup, and we then ferment the syrup and make our rum from that. So our 1968 unaged rum, you can see a bottle of it just there. Great stuff. It's light, it's sweet, it's very smooth, and actually drinks way above its age. Drinks somewhere like a 3-year-old on the palate. So it's really, really good on the rocks. There you go. And you can just, you can drink that on the rocks and it's sensational. But because it's made from syrup, and I control how we make the syrup, I can leave in an element of the earthy floral element that you get in agricole, and I do that deliberately, so that it's great for things like your tea punch, and that's one of my favorite drinks. So it's a very, very versatile rum. Now, if you get the unaged right, you're bound to get the age right. So we've put this down, and we age it in and you'll see the aging room shortly in the video clip, ex Jim Beam bourbon barrels. And we've had it now for just over 2 years aging, and it's really sensational stuff. It's just taking a little bit of color. It's not going to be particularly dark after 3 years. Of course it's not. But it's really, the edges are coming off. It's a lot softer. It's a lot smoother. A lot of depth of flavor going on in there. All sorts of things. Every time I taste it, I find something new coming out. It's going to be
right next to the sea, right? That you're like 100 meters from the sea.
That's right. Yeah. As you saw in that video clip, as we spun around in the drone footage, we are literally aging 100 meters away by the sea. One of our hashtags, or our hashtag, is hashtag still by the sea, actually,
cool.
which we're trying to grow as a hashtag. And yeah, it's really exciting stuff. And everybody that comes here, of course, partly due to the ignorance, but also because some of them are excited. The first question is, where's your dark rum? Where's your aged rum? So it's coming, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming. And there's nobody more excited about it and more impatient about it coming than me, let me tell you. So, that's how we make it here in the UK. And I make it differently that way because of my love and understanding of rum, not because I'm, just trying to be different and faddy. That is genuine. It's just that I don't, a molasses-based rum, no matter how hard you try, will always be overpowered by the, that molasses, slightly acrid, dry taste sensation on the back of the palate. Now, again, I'm not knocking that, but it is what it is, and I didn't want to produce an unaged rum like that, which is why we went down the syrup road. As I said.
So you said it's dehydrated sugarcane honey, basically.
No, it's the sugarcane juice. So they juice the cane, and all they then do is remove the moisture by dehydration.
Exactly.
So that's what you're left with is a very, it's pure sugarcane sugar. I guess it's just the what I'm trying to say.
But it's not a paste. It's crystallized.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
Well, it's not really crystallized. It's more like a dust. It's like a yeah, like sand in consistency. And there's obviously a lot of impurities and stuff in there because there's nothing taken away. It's just literally just the moisture. And we then, as I say, add water back into it. And I have actually made agricole from it just by putting water in it. So I've now got essentially sugarcane juice, and then I've distilled that, and it makes a very nice agricole. But like I said,
very interesting.
agricole doesn't work here. So it comes from Costa Rica, and it's a little area. You know, there's a lot of talk at the moment about terroir and all the rest of it in the rum thing. I'm not sure I necessarily subscribe to that. I don't want to upset anybody by saying that, but I've had discussions with people. But if it were to, it comes from a 40 square mile area of the same part of Costa Rica. So it is always the same product, always from the same place. So, you know, it's as though we had, unfortunately, we don't, as though we had the still right next door to the plantation.
Yeah.
So we just add a few air miles to it, unfortunately, but don't tell the carbon warriors about that.
That's all right. I think we should go and see the video of still. Because that will give us an idea how big the facility is and how things run. Yeah.
So you're standing outside the still room now, and when you saw the drone video earlier, you could just see the picnic tables. That's our